Hello my gorgeous plant people, welcome back to Rooting Mindfully. My name is Yana and today we are going to talk about the rubber tree. Now I'm going to show you which rubber trees I have in my collection as well as the care. So let's get into it so we can learn all about these plants. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So like I said, we're going to talk about the rubber tree today. And first I wanted just to go ahead and show you which rubber trees I have in my collection. I do have 4 rubber trees right now. And I don't know if I'm going to get any more. We'll see how it goes, but let's just show you what we have. Alright, so the first rubber tree I want to show you is my ruby rubber tree. This is just a little cutie. This was the smallest rubber tree I've received. And I ordered all these rubber trees over the summer. And most of them came from the plant farm, which I highly recommend you order rubber trees from there if you're not sure about the care, if you haven't done your research, or if you just want to start small. He does have a lot of rubber trees and they're at pretty good prices, so I do recommend you start there. Because honestly, rubber trees can be expensive, and if you don't have the care down, or if you're not sure if you can take care of them, then you might as well just start smaller and start at a smaller price. So I highly recommend the plant farm, which is where I got this one. But the ruby is just really pretty. It is a little bit of a darker version of the Tineke, and it does have more of the strawberry and cream color. This is just a beautiful plant. Like I said, this one was the smallest one that I received, and when I received it, it was about this small. And it did do a lot of growing over the summer. These are the summer leaves. As you can tell, they are a lot bigger. I normally do keep my rubber trees outside because of the amount of light that they require. And I've seen that they do really well outside in the summer. So I can't wait to put mine back out there and see what kind of growth I get this summer. And the next rubber tree I have is the rubber tree. This is my Tineke. You would have seen this in my large floor houseplants video. But like I said, I just love this plant because of the watercolor leaves, and you just never know what variation you're going to get in the leaves. Every leaf is different, but this is just an amazing plant. But full disclosure, these are 2 separate plants that I actually bought. This one I got from my local nursery. I saw it, this was the last one that they had, so I picked it up. And then this one I actually grew from a baby. When I got this one, it was about here, and when I put it outside, these are all the leaves that I got over the summer. So this one actually grew really well for me, and I think this one actually grew the most and the best for me, because look at the size of these leaves. If you can see, the leaves on this one are even a lot bigger than this one, but this one grew the most for me over the summer. But I absolutely love the Tineke rubber tree. I had this one before in my prior collection, but because I didn't know the care and the management, I got rid of the plant, but I was able to redeem myself, and I'm really happy with how this plant is growing. Like I said, this is 2 different plants. I do like to fill out my pots just so I can have more than one plant in the pot, and it makes the pot look more full. So I was thinking about getting a 3rd one, but I don't really think that'll be necessary. I think this looks good all on its own. The next rubber tree is my green rubber tree, and actually when I ordered this plant, I thought this was the ruby. I thought this was the burgundy, but it turned out when it started growing, it just had more of the green quality, which I was kind of actually happy that it was a green one, because now I have all of the varieties pretty much, with the exception of a few. But this big one here I got from the plant farm, and then this little one here, if you watch my mom's birthday haul, we got from the stump. And this little one here is not growing as well as the one that I originally had. I'm not really sure what's wrong with that one, but at least I have this one as a backup. But this plant is doing well as well, and it just looks really nice. And I always get questions about how you get shiny leaves. All you have to do is wipe off the leaves. If they have hard water, just take a little bit of lemon juice and mix it in their water and just wipe off the leaves. There's no need to use any leaf shine or anything like that to just have nice shiny leaves. But I noticed that for the majority, my plants do have shiny leaves, and you just have to wipe them off occasionally. So this is my green rubber tree. And the last plant that I have in my collection is actually my burgundy rubber tree. I wasn't intentionally going to buy this plant, but we did see it at Lowe's, and they have the trending tropicals plants, and it was mixed in a pot with like 3 other plants, and my mom really wanted these rubber trees. They only had 2 left, and they both had 2 different rubber trees in each pot. So we grabbed both of the trending tropicals, and this was the rubber tree that was in it. It was a little beat up just because, you know, sometimes big box stores don't take the best care of their plants. So some of the leaves are a little bit beat up, but overall this is a really beautiful plant. And with all the plants that were in the pot, it was only $20 on sale. So it was a huge steal to have all those plants, because it did have snake plants and syngoniums in the pot. But this is a really beautiful plant. It is really dark compared to a lot of burgundy plants I see. But I love the burgundy veining here and just the dark leaves. It's a really pretty plant. And it's doing well since it's come home to my collection. I think we've only lost 1 leaf, but that's okay. But other than that, it's just a beautiful plant. Now it seems like a lot of people have a hard time with the rubber trees, and I find with the rubber tree, the lighting is the key ingredient that you really want to get down to in order to grow beautiful rubber trees. Now me personally, you see I do have nice rubber trees, but if I'm being honest, my rubber trees don't grow well in my home. They will grow under my Sandsy light, but my Sandsy lights are otherwise preoccupied by other plants. So where I have them in my home, they're not necessarily growing. So right now they're kind of like in the maintain phase until spring and summer, when I can put them back outside on my patio. And outside on my patio is where I see the most growth out of my rubber trees. So rubber trees really like higher light. So if you can do east window, west window, and even south, if you do south, just pull your rubber trees back a little bit. They will grow beautifully in those conditions. They really need the higher light. Now my mom has her rubber trees in her south window, and they are growing phenomenally. And I wish I had south windows, but I don't. So I could either utilize my Sandsy light, which I can't really do at this point. I might add another Sandsy light in the future. But what I do is I basically wait till the summer, put my rubber trees out on the patio, and they just grow phenomenally over the summer. That's where I get, you know, really big leaves. Another thing that is important to the rubber tree is that you water it accordingly. I water mine about once a week. Now, if I were to put them outside during the spring and summer, I have to water them probably once or twice a week, probably twice because of the amount of sun that they're getting, because I do get some south light coming from my patio, as well as, you know, with the wind and the circulation of the air, I have to water them a bit more. But inside, I water my rubber trees about once a week. And I basically wait until the moisture reader reads about a 1, and then I go ahead and water my rubber trees. You don't want to let them go too dry without watering, because then they will start to drop leaves, as well as if they're not receiving a lot of light, they will also drop leaves. The leaves will start to yellow and drop. So those are some indications that you need to go ahead and check your conditions. Another thing is fertilizer. Like you guys know, I am a simple person, so I fertilize every time I water. That way I can just keep all my plants on the same schedule and I don't have to think about it. If you're someone who just likes to fertilize as recommended, you can just fertilize every 2 weeks, and then you can just fertilize at full strength if that's how you want to do it. As far as temperatures, rubber trees love being on the warmer side. So if you can provide temperatures between 65 and 85 degrees, they will really thrive. You really want to try not to go below 60 degrees because they are more tropical plants. So if you drop below 60 degrees, they will have a hard time producing nice foliage, and they may even drop their leaves as well. As far as humidity, they don't require a ton of high humidity. Normal humidity is fine. I don't see that when my humidity drops that they're affected in any way. They just kind of just sit there and chill. So they don't require a lot of high humidity, which is fine because a lot of our other plants do. As far as propagations, rubber trees are they're pretty simple to propagate. You could just cut the plant off here and then, you know, stick it in the soil and wait for it to grow roots. If you do chop off your plant, you want to make sure that your plant is at the height that you're desiring, because once you chop it off, it won't grow any higher vertically. It will just, it will likely branch, and then you'll have another sprout that comes off on the side. So if you do decide to chop off your plant, make sure that's the height that you're going for. As well as, the other cool thing about rubber trees is that you can air layer it. So if you take some sphagnum moss and you wrap it around the plant, around the place where it will develop the roots, you can go ahead and develop roots and then chop the plant off that way. That would be another way to propagate it. Again, just make sure that's your desired height. And then a really cool thing is if you pinch the bud, you could also stimulate some growth that way and get the plant to branch. Or if you were to lose a leaf, say if you were to lose this leaf here, you could notch it where that leaf is, and then it'll try to encourage the plant to go ahead and produce another leaf. So that's some pretty cool things about the rubber tree, how you can notch and pinch to go ahead and stimulate more growth, or even stimulate branching if you wanted to go ahead and keep the plant short but you wanted to have another branch coming off of the stem. Some other pests that tend to plague the rubber trees are scale. So you see like these little flat kind of bumps that develop along the side of the stem here, or even sometimes on the leaves. You also have mealybugs, which we know you can get rid of those by using alcohol and Q-tips. But the most frequent pest that plagues the rubber trees are spider mites. So sometimes a lot of people recommend that if you have a spider mite condition, that you just want to either bump up your humidity or use pesticides that will go ahead and get rid of spider mites. Neem oil doesn't always work with spider mites, so you could try things like the Miracle-Gro insecticide, or you can use the Captain Jack's dead bug brew, which works really good against spider mites. But those are some things to know about the rubber trees. Let me know in the comments section if you guys struggle with the rubber trees, or if you're a whiz at rubber trees. I'm really curious to know. Also, let me know what kind of varieties you have of rubber trees, or if you're thinking about buying some. But I just want to always thank you guys so much for watching my videos and liking the videos. Please subscribe to the channel. It really does help, as well as hitting the notification bell so that way you see me in the next video. And we will see you next time. Bye.